Good morning. Today, my groupmates and I will be looking at the concept of time management within student groups. We will be looking at the problems pertaining to the concept and present our solution. The target audience for our discussion is the MSc management cohort. Our group chose this problem as we noted that each member had at some stage experienced having members who struggled with time management. This demonstrated how frequent problems of this nature arise, and after further discussion, we outlined how detrimental it can be for producing a strong piece of work. The slide above elucidates upon the concept of time management. In the student context, time management encompasses activities such as advanced planning, work prioritization, and committing to schedules, amongst others. Time management is a significant factor that should be understood by students for their individual success. However, the concept may struggle at a group level. We found that the importance of time management is misunderstood at the group level, not because of ignorance pertaining to the topic, but rather due to the individualistic differences amongst the group members. We found it problematic due to the myriad of intrinsic and extrinsic factors that stem simply from the grouping of individuals. Our concern can be seen as a continuation of the paradox faced by groups, whereby individuals within groups can exhibit both facilitative and interfering behavior. A common culture of time management can be created within groups by creating time awareness. Teams that form time awareness norms expect members to allocate their own time effectively towards completing tasks and prioritization of synchronized group tasks. These teams are also better at adapting to temporal changes like delays or unforeseen problems than groups that are not aware of time. We will first discuss the main impediments towards raising time awareness and subsequently creating a shared vision of time management. We will then present our solution for student teams. However, due to the limited nature of this report, only select causes that we have experienced will be elucidated upon with relevant literature.
One of the causes of time management is differing time urgencies. There are two types of individuals, ones that are highly concerned about time, therefore increasing team efficiency and value of time used, and ones that have lower time urgency, therefore decreasing team efficiency. Disagreements can arise between high and low team efficient members. The consequences of time urgency are that there could be a decline in task performance due to individual differences on attention to time, punctuality, and the control of deadlines. The pacing of group tasks can also be varied. For example, a highly urgent group member would be more likely to voice concerns rather than the low time urgent member. There are 4 group member prototypes. First, the organizer is the member with the highest time urgency and who is most future-oriented. The crammer, who has a high time urgency but is mostly present-oriented. The visioner, he has a low time urgency but is future-oriented. And finally, the relator, who is present-oriented with its low time urgency. Identifying what prototype each group member falls into early on will help better organize the group and help promote time awareness within the group. If a team is mostly formed of visioners and relators, who both have low time urgency, the team will face difficulties in meeting deadlines. However, if the team is composed of organizers and crammers, the team will be able to easily meet the deadlines.
Another relevant issue is the lack of a group clock. Conway and Limmerman defined the group clock as being formed as an emergent property of the team, such that it is created through interactions between members of the team and is then used unconsciously to guide team development. Now, the lack of a group clock can be attributed to individual team members having different circadian rhythms. Essentially, individuals have a cycle of morningness and eveningness which underlies their personal productivity. The term lark describes an individual who prefers to get their work done early on in the day and then relax as the day progresses. Conversely, the term owl describes an individual who prefers to backload their work until later on in the day. A 1991 study found that morning-type individuals saw their success rate in cognitive tests decrease as the day progressed, whereas evening types were able to achieve improved scores at later hours in the day. Research also suggests that the lack of a group clock can lead to many issues within a team, including process conflict, task conflict, and affect conflict. Psychology and education research suggests that academic performance is influenced by the time of day. Circadian variability accounts for roughly 20% of variation in cognitive performance laboratory studies, which increases to 40% in field studies. The existing research on the impact of time of day on academic performance focuses on 2 main aspects. The first is that alertness and vigilance in individuals appears to be higher in the morning than in the afternoon or in the evening. The second is that the effect on level of performance depending on task type also indicates similar results. The research concludes that the time of day does affect the immediate recall of the prose, with results depending on whether the individual is a morning type or an evening type person.
Procrastination is the act of putting off doing something until a future date, postponing or delaying it needlessly. It can be problematic in group projects that require some components to be finished in order to start others. With some of the group procrastinating and others not, there can be delays in individual part completion, reduced time to check the quality of work, reduced time to format and organise the document, and often result in a worse final product and sometimes even cause a late submission. Procrastination can lead to inefficient use of a team's time and poor work being produced due to the time pressures. It's not necessarily always time inefficient, as some people work much better under a pressure of a deadline. Inefficiency is often a result of dependent parts being finished late, creating stress for other members who have less time to work on theirs. Procrastination that comes from laziness, negative emotions, or lack of motivation can create a situation where a person has an infeasible quantity of work to do, which will be rushed and or done poorly. Our answer to the question above is our checklist. The checklist remedies the problem by creating time awareness norms and ensuring that all members have a shared sense of time. These norms relate to viewing time as a scarce resource and implementing time management measures accordingly. The initial stage of the team is when they develop their approaches towards the task. From our experiences, we found this is when our team developed their identity, and subsequently this is why our checklist aims to create and enforce these norms at the onset. Implementation of these norms constitute pre-work, which can set up the team for success going forwards. The checklist we've designed is intended for UCL MSc management students in order to successfully strategize how to conduct group work regardless of the different people and personalities within a team. The checklist is divided into two main parts, the first of which is a set of questions to be asked before the start of a project to all the members. They aim to determine the personality traits of each person, finding out their work ethic, their preferences, and their routines. Knowledge of how the people in a group respond to these set of questions will help find out the best way to approach the group project. Deciding the platforms that will be used for communication, working on the frequency the group meets will be instrumental in structuring the whole process. This part of the checklist also familiarises every member with each other to help manage expectations. This can reduce friction in a group dynamic full of people who work very differently. Having compiled all of the information from the first part of the checklist, the second checklist will present options based on personal preferences for how the group could structure their strategy for carrying out the project. Responses to this part of the checklist will set standards for how work will be conducted for the assignment.
In conclusion, from our experiences in groups, we centered our checklist on the problems of time management and awareness, stemming from the issues of time urgency, group clock, and procrastination. Our checklist aims to bridge the individualistic differences that arise as a result of the grouping of individuals by making all members cognizant of their peers' respective preferences. The checklist enables the group to reach a shared state of time awareness and subsequently create a common culture of time management. Furthermore, our checklist also goes beyond the genesis of a group and has measures to reinforce the concept of a shared sense of time awareness, with its secondary section that reinforces the concept as the group progresses in its lifespan. Both parts pre and during the project reflects, to an extent, the solutions to the problems mentioned. We focused on creating a checklist that would be beneficial to all MSc management students in current and future projects. Ultimately, due to the limited nature of the report, we focused on the initial stages of the project. We found in several papers we read to state that this is the most crucial stage for time awareness development for groups. Hence, we decided our focus should be on this stage. We believe that our checklist can act as a tool to make our colleagues sagacious enough to create groups centered around time management rather than engage in time-wasting behavior.